Alright, we're here at the beach and now I want to take a picture using the weeds, I guess these are called sea oats, on either side of this little path going to the beach. I want to use that as a compositional element. And this kind of uses two compositional techniques. One is called framing, where I'm using either side to kind of frame the picture of the beach. And the other is a leading line, because obviously this path is leading us into the scene that we see. One problem that we have is that these clouds up here, we have some kind of detail in them, but they're kind of just a gray sheet of cloud up there, and that's not really something we want most of the time. So we're going to shoot this picture in HDR, and what that's going to do for us is it's going to bring out as much detail as humanly possible out of that sky. So I'll turn on live view here. I'm going to focus 1/3 into the scene, which is going to be somewhere down in the path. And we're going to put the horizon out there in the water 1/3 up from the bottom of the picture, just to follow the rule of thirds and get a strong composition. We want as much of the clouds as possible here, because this picture is going to be about the clouds. I'll turn on auto exposure bracketing here. 2 stops. 2 stops overexposed, 2 stops underexposed, and the correct exposure. And we'll go ahead and turn on the timer here, so I don't want to bump the buttons. And we'll take those pictures. As it's taking those pictures, and now let's go into Photoshop and we'll go ahead and edit these 3 pictures. We're inside and finally out of the wind, and now we're going to edit these photos together into an HDR. This is the original picture we took at the beach. Here's the underexposed and the overexposed. The only problem that we have is a lot of ghosting in these weeds because it was windy while we were taking the 3 exposures. So we're going to make the sky kind of ominous with our HDR, and we're going to work on our ghosting, and we'll have a great picture. So there are 3 images, and this is what we're going to create when we're finally done. Okay, let's get started. First we'll go into Photomatix, load bracketed photos, and we're going to go 1, hold Control, 2, 3. We got our 3 pictures in our HDR, and we're not going to line source images because I know we were on a locked on tripod. We don't have to worry too much about noise. We were at very low ISOs, and we'll just say okay. Okay, so now we're going to work on our noise. What Photomatix wants us to do is to click and drag around the areas that are ghosted, and we see some of those here. And then we click inside the circle with the right click and mark as ghosted area. And we'll just go through and do that on all the areas that we know are ghosted. Mark these and we'll say OK. Now it's going to fix the ghosting there as much as it can. Okay, now back on the last screen we chose Show Intermediary 32-bit HDR. And this is it. It looks really funny, and that's okay. But we want to save this so that we can tone map it multiple times. We'll go ahead and click Save As, and we'll put this where we want to. And now let's start tone mapping. We'll click Tone Mapping / Fusion, and the first thing we're going to do is go straight to the presets and see which preset gets us closest. On this photo, whoa, actually that looks pretty darn good. Yeah, not too bad at all. That's a pretty good start. We don't even have to play down here. I like how that looks. The only thing I'm going to change here is maybe a little bit more saturation. We want to get a lot of contrast between these weeds and the dark sky. Well, that's a little bit strong. Maybe it was alright where it was. Actually, let's go ahead and accept the default. The only problem that we're seeing here is notice that the weeds, the tall oats here, get caught in with the dark sky, and they look unnaturally dark. They should be bright and light like these colors. So we're going to tone map one like this, and then we're going to come back and tone map another just with the weeds, and then we'll put them together in Photoshop. I'll go ahead and process this one. Okay, we'll save this, and we'll call this 1. Alright, now we've navigated, we're going to open up that intermediary 32-bit HDR again, and we're going to tone map it a second time, this time focusing only on those oats up here. So how can we lighten those up? One, we're going to use the luminosity setting, because that will really brighten things up in the photo. Okay, that helps. We're going to drop down our strength here. That's probably hurting our oats, and also the micro contrast. Alright, they're starting to look more like oats now and less like little black licorices sticking up there. Good enough for me. And we'll go ahead and process this, and then we'll save it into that same file, and we're going to open them in Photoshop. Now we're in Photoshop, and we're going to open up to the place where we have the two HDRs that we've created. Number 1 and control-click number 2. And we're just going to bring them straight in. All we're going to do is add a little bit of clarity here. Okay, now we have both pictures open, and we're going to do the cheater way, just control copy on this one, and we're just going to paste it on a new layer here, control V. And so here we have the right oats on the top, but everything else is wrong. So we're just going to get our magic brush here, and we're going to do a hack job of it. There are better ways to do this, but we're just going to do a simple job of this. We're just going to select the color in some of these oats, and our tolerance is set to 92. That's really high. We might even go a little bit higher just to make sure we really get all these oats. And we should not be set to contiguous. That means things don't have to be touched. Wait till we get the right setting. Okay, that looks pretty good here. We have a pretty good one. Now we're going to do Control-Shift-I. That inverts our selection, so we're selecting everything other than what we just had highlighted. And now we're just going to hit the almighty delete key, and pow, now we have the brightened weeds from this top file and the darker sky from this one. This is what it looks like with just one HDR, and that's what it looks like with two. Much more natural in the oats, and we have a great final image. Thanks for joining me here at Lover's Key in Florida for taking this landscape photo in HDR. If you're interested in learning more about some of my techniques that I use for photography, buy my book Improve Your Landscape Photography or Improve Your HDR Photography, where you can learn a lot more. You can buy the books for $5.99 in an ebook form by using the iBooks application for the iPhone, iPod Touch, or the iPad. Just search for the name of those books in the iBooks application. Or you can buy it in the Kindle store for the same price. Or if you don't have an e-reader, you can get it on your computer in PDF format by going to smashwords.com and just searching Improve Your Landscape Photography or Improve Your HDR Photography, and you can buy a PDF version of the book that you can read right on your computer. Thanks for joining me. Happy shooting.